Woo! Okay. After that last insane battle, I had an insane battle of my own, but I guess I'll talk about that in game. We're moving on to the second set on El Nino, and one of the good things for Protoss players is I think if they get past Eye of the Storm, El Nino is very, very tailored to Protoss play, I think. Going back to the Bisu versus Shine game, Bisu didn't have a whole lot of problems dealing with Shine on El Nino, so we'll see what BackHo can do against Calm here. Of course, Calm could go for something a lot different than what Shine went for against Bisu, so BackHo is going to have to keep that in mind. But yeah, he's definitely in a better position than Calm is. Already has one win, and now he's on a map that can favor standard Protoss play. He looks very focused to me against Calm, the former MSL champ. Well, the last MSL champ. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 3-player map. Let's get the colors. Okay, get that giant versus off the screen, please. And Calm is in purple, so that means he's down here at the 8 o'clock. And up at the 12 o'clock was BackHo. I was very surprised when Calm didn't make the last OSL. Seeing him get eliminated in the prelims was very surprising to me. Even more surprising than Jangbi getting eliminated from the prelims last season. But they're both moving up. Both moving up, and it will be kind of an upset if Calm loses to BackHo here. Even though BackHo played extremely well in the first game, I don't think he's on that same plateau as Calm is. He's not at that same level, same echelon. But let's see what BackHo decides to do, if he decides to go for another fun Zealot all-in strategy. That was a very interesting game. I'm going to have to go back and watch that game and see just how that build would have failed, because I was saying during the game that Mutalisk would have been able to rip that up, and I think that's true. A Mutalisk tech switch earlier in that game probably could have really ripped into the forces until the High Templar came out to form Archons, because BackHo, I think, wanted to trick Calm into thinking he was going for a Corsair build. He built one Corsair, and I think that's the only Corsair he built, so that kind of deceived Calm. But the spawning pool coming up once again for Calm. He's going for spawning pool first. And we'll see what he decides to do. This might actually be a 9 pool from Calm, although it was probably an overpool build. Looking at the Overlords coming out of the base right now. And let's see. Yeah, the spawning pool is going to be up pretty soon, so yeah, BackHo needs to come down here and put down his Forge. But he could play risky like the last game and throw down the next before Forge, but there are much less distance between the bases, so he definitely needs to put down his Forge and get some cannons up very, very soon. He's trying to come down and deny the base. This is another good... Oh, I was going to say this is another good thing that Bisu decided to do in the last series against Shine was deny bases. Plop down a pylon if you have to, but keep that 3-base Hydra build from coming at you. And the next is coming up once again from BackHo. He's not going to throw down a cannon just yet. No, he finally throws down his cannon. That cannon is going to come out just in time to fight off these Zerglings. But Calm, he might have just pumped 2 Zerglings here. He just has 2 running after. He has a couple more coming out, so it looks like he did pump his full Zerglings just a little bit later than usual. He's going to get those out to put the pressure on BackHo, push him back into his base. A second, was that a cannon coming up? Almost looked like a shield battery there for a second, but I know that can't be right. But the Zergling's coming in. Oh, Calm, he might be able to sneak by, but Calm decides that it's not worth it, and he goes back. But yes, BackHo is going to have his base up soon, so what Calm needs to do is decide to go out and put down a 3rd base somewhere. As I mentioned in the Bisu vs. Shine games, this map is not very good for Zerg just because there's not a lot of gas expansions. It's going to be tough for Calm to go out there and find another expansion that he can defend easily. But he does have his 2nd base up. He has his lair coming up, so we could be seeing a dual base Mutalisk build, or more likely, I think, a lurker build, rather, that he could use to push those lurkers in quicker, maybe do a slow drop strategy, even to drop them into the main. Either of those would be viable, I believe. And although, oh yeah, I was talking about my epic battle that I had after the first game. There was a wasp. A wasp came into my room, and I was swatting at it with a notebook, and I screamed and ran out of the room because I just couldn't seem to kill the little SOB. But I finally did. I was sitting down actually to do this commentary, and the wasp came back up again. I screamed. I grabbed what was actually my ex-girlfriend's Spanish textbook. I was like, "Adios, muchacho," and I hit him finally. So he's dead. So I can do this commentary with a little bit more. Yes, I can be a little bit easier going instead of looking all around me. I was pretty scared going into when I was going to start this commentary earlier because I knew there was a wasp in the room, but I didn't think I'd killed him. And that's always a scary, scary thing for us people who are afraid of wasps and bees. Looks like the scout not quite going down, but I think it will go down right here, even though there isn't Zergling speed up. Yes, BackHo is prepared this time. He's going for his Stargate. He has 2 gas going, so yeah, I think he's going to go heavy Stargate. Maybe even eventually go out with a Reaver Force or something. Going for another gas this quickly makes me think he's definitely going to be committing himself to tech units as opposed to zealots this time. But yeah, Calm, I think, is preparing a slow drop strategy. I think that's what he's trying to do. He has 2 overlords positioned right next to the main, and he's going to come up with some Hydras and probably morph them into Lurkers. Of course, he could have just been using that lair to get the upgrade, the drop upgrade, just for the Hydralist here, but I think it would be way more in his favor if he decided to go for Lurkers here to drop into the main.